Hey, greetings everyone. This is Tony Hollowitz and thank you for being here for this tutorial. This tutorial and the next tutorial I'm going to do talks about working with list or drop-down list in Act. So I'm in Act Premium Cloud, but what I'm going to teach doesn't really make a difference which version you're in. And what I want to illustrate is this. I had a client that asked me a question about a drop-down list. And I'm looking at the drop-down list for the ID status. And the drop-down list here does a couple things for you. One, you can select multiple things, which I'm never a fan of. That's the first thing. The next thing is, I want to draw your attention to this area where it says cold lead, competitor, consultant, contractor, coworker. As a rule of thumb, especially with the ID status field, I believe this field should be incredibly simple. This is your first pass at contacts and putting information in here. I'm not going to get into detail about my specifics about the ID status. I have other tutorials that discuss that. But on that note, the key point I want to make here is when you have a drop-down list, it is worth thinking about and discussing. And the most important point, in my opinion, is the ease of data entry. If data entry is easy, people will use it more often. So for example, if I come up here and I take out prospect and I press the letter C, what you're going to see is that I have items in here that alphabetically will appear as I start typing. Cold lead alphabetically is the first item. But what I always try to advocate for is really think this through and only have one item that begins with a particular letter. In other words, I don't want 5 things that begin with the letter C. I just want one thing. So for example, what I usually recommend is C is for customer or client, however you refer to them. Make that decision and put it in here. I also have an ID status for prospect. So the reason I point out those two is because when I go to this contact and I want to put in prospect, all I have to do is hit the letter P and it automatically goes in. If it's client, the letter C. So if you can use one letter in certain fields and think that through, and I know that takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of a challenge, but if you can do that, it makes data entry so much easier. And the easier you can make data entry in these drop-down lists, the more likely people are going to utilize it properly. So yeah, put some thought into it, simplify. I believe in keeping it simple, and I think you'll have a better experience with your Act software. So that's the first part. In the next video, I'm going to discuss how to update a certain field in the drop-down list. Okay, my friends, you have a great day. Bye now.